No matter what someone does or does not choose to do in their life, everyone deserves to live their life to its fullest. And anytime someone's life is ended too early, it's such a tragedy no matter the circumstances. But especially when someone is killed for absolutely no reason and the person or people responsible are just so cold and careless, it really makes you question your faith in humanity. And in this case, a bright, beautiful young woman lost her life. And when you hear the reasons that her killers gave, you will be shocked and appalled. I know I was. But before we get into the case, I want to say a huge thank you to Cook Unity for partnering with me on today's video. Cook Unity is the first chef-to-customer platform delivering freshly prepared, pre-selected meals right to your door weekly. Cook Unity has dozens of chefs offering a wide variety of cuisines. You get to select from a whopping 350 plus meals each week, but if you can't or don't have the time, Cook Unity is happy to select meals for you based on your taste preferences. Chefs cook meals with real ingredients, nothing artificial. They used humanely raised meats and organic ingredients whenever possible. Browse the menu by protein, chef, cuisine, or dietary need, including vegetarian, pescatarian, and keto, and you're sure to find food that you'll love. I do personally eat vegetarian and I consider myself a picky eater, so that is why I love that I get to select my own meals from Cook Unity as well as try new meals that look absolutely delicious. The first meal I had was JG's signature mac and cheese with herbed breadcrumbs made by Jose Garces in New York. I love this mac and cheese with the herby breadcrumbs. It gives me my favorite comfort food with that extra flavor and texture that I crave. I also got this amazing grilled naan margarita pizza with fresh basil made by John DeLucci. Another hit. I absolutely love how fluffy and crisp this crust was. The amount of cheese and olive oil was perfect, and of course, I love the flavor that the fresh basil adds to my favorite Friday night pizza. I also have a few pasta dishes which I am so excited to try. I love that the meals are delivered fully cooked, so all I have to do is heat them up. Sometimes I don't want to cook or put in the effort that it takes to cook a meal, and then I have to clean up everything after, especially on the days where I work my 10-hour shift and then I go work out for an hour after. Sometimes I'm not home until 7 or 8, and at that point, I love just being able to pop my meals in the oven and still enjoy chef-cooked meals right at home. Cook Unity's roster of all-star chefs include Food Network alums, James Beard Award winners, and acclaimed restaurateurs. Balancing flavor and nutrition in their creation, there is seemingly endless varieties of meals to choose from. Cook Unity's subscription is also super flexible. You can pause or skip weeks, and you can cancel at any time, though I don't think you're going to want to. So, if you want to indulge in chef-prepped meals right at home with absolutely no effort or cleanup, go to cookunity.com/RSTC50 and use my code RSTC50 to get 50% off of your first order at Cook Unity. That is RSTC, as in Rachel Shannon True Crime 50, to get 50% off of your first order at Cook Unity to try it out for yourself. Thank you again so much to Cook Unity for partnering with me on today's video. With that being said, let's get into the case. Today, we are going to be discussing the tragic, senseless case of Maryana Rodgers. Maryana Rodgers was 23 years old, originally from Los Angeles, but at the time she was living in Edmonds, Washington. She was working as a medical assistant at the time, and according to those who knew Maryana, she was an amazing friend. She was genuine, loving, and concerned for the well-being of others, the most selfless person that you could know. During the week of December 1st, 2023, Maryana headed to Las Vegas, Nevada with her boyfriend at the time, Tremaine, and another friend of hers, Garrett, who she had known since she was a child. They had been friends for 15 years at that point. She was also visiting two other friends there, Gavin and Summer. According to her boyfriend, Maryana was a sex worker, so she went to Vegas with the intention of doing services related to that. After arriving to Las Vegas, Maryana, Tremaine, and Garrett all stayed together in an Airbnb. By December 5th, Maryana asked Garrett if he could drive her to meet up with a friend, 19-year-old Sakari Harnden. According to friends, Maryana and Sakari had known each other for years. Maryana took Sakari in and treated her like a sister years prior when she needed someone the most. So that is why they regularly met up, and that's why they were meeting in Las Vegas that week. Maryana showed Garrett a text message thread where Sakari told her that she was setting up an escort double date. Apparently, someone was offering $1,000 to Maryana for her services. That night, the two were supposed to spend the entire evening together meeting NBA players and were expecting to make $4,000 in one night. So by around 1 a.m. on the morning of December 6th, Garrett drove Maryana to meet Sakari at a location that they had previously agreed on. When doing so, according to Garrett, they met up with Sakari at her Mercedes. In the car, Garrett noticed that there were multiple suitcases and luggage behind the driver's seat of the car, and then sitting in the middle of the back seat was an unknown man. Sakari told Garrett that this man was a customer who was paying for both of their services. But this stood out to Garrett because typically a customer wouldn't be sitting in the back seat. They would usually be sitting in the front seat, and if there was another sex worker with them, she would be in the back seat. But even though that stood out, it wasn't enough for him to completely call the thing off. He wasn't that worried. It was just a little bit odd to him. So by 1:17 a.m., Garrett watched as Maryana, Sakari, and the unknown man drove away in Sakari's Mercedes. After her night, Tremaine and Garrett were expecting Maryana back to the Airbnb by 9 a.m. that same day, December 6th. But she never returned. Both men knew that it was very unusual for Maryana not to return back when expected, or at the very least, check in with them. They knew that she had no cash on her, she had no debit or credit cards, nothing. They knew that she wouldn't choose to be out on her own for very long with absolutely no money. So, Tremaine tried to see where Maryana was using the Find My iPhone app to track her location as he normally would. But this time, her location was turned off. In fact, none of Maryana's friends were able to see her location. So it's not like she just stopped sharing her location with her boyfriend. She turned it off completely or shut her phone off. Once again, this was very unusual for her, as she would never have her location turned off, especially when she was meeting with a client. Because of this, Tremaine reached out to Sakari because, again, he knew that she was last known to be with her. Sakari ended up telling Tremaine that after the first date that included the both of them, Maryana left Sakari to go on a date of her own. She left Sakari in her own Mercedes, taking an Uber to her new date. But once again, this did not sit right with Tremaine. Maryana always used his Uber account for any rides, and his account was not showing any recent rides. He did not think that Maryana even had her own account, and she would never normally let a client order an Uber for her. So this too was very unusual. It seemed to me that Maryana knew the risks of the activities that she was involving herself in, but obviously wanted to make some extra money. She made sure that her boyfriend and friends could see her location at all times. She used her boyfriend's Uber app so he could see where she was going, and so there would be a record anytime she went somewhere. I just want to take this as a moment to say that we are not going to victim blame in this video. We will not judge Maryana for her choices. The person who killed Maryana is the only person responsible for her death, nobody else. And even though she was involving herself in these risky behaviors and activities, she was clearly trying to make it so she could do it in the most responsible way possible. Either way, by that point, everyone in Maryana's inner circle knew that something just wasn't right. So Gavin and Summer went to the police station to report Maryana as a missing person. They told police that they were concerned with Maryana not showing back up after her double date. They knew Sakari, the person that Maryana was last with, and they knew that Sakari hung around some very dangerous, violent people. So they knew that someone Sakari knew could have harmed Maryana. After taking down the police report from Gavin and Summer, police realized that Sakari had also actually reached out and filed a missing persons report for Maryana. However, the details Sakari gave in this report were very vague. All she said was that the last time she saw Maryana was around 3 a.m. on December 6th. She also told police that Maryana got into an Uber and headed to Summerlin for an appointment. She reported that Maryana was drunk and high on ecstasy that night. She mentioned that Maryana had bipolar disorder as well, but didn't think that she was a danger to herself. After receiving multiple reports for Maryana's disappearance, police went ahead and started interviewing everyone who knew Maryana and had seen her before that double date. Tremaine told police what I just told you guys about how Garrett drove Maryana to that appointment with a client. She didn't show back up, with Sakari saying that she got into an Uber, but Tremaine knew that she didn't get any Uber. When speaking with police, Tremaine also mentioned that just before this double date on December 4th, Maryana and Sakari had actually gotten into a pretty heated argument. Apparently, Maryana had told others that Sakari was working with police to implicate an ex-boyfriend, 18-year-old Yosua Sadawa, who was involved in a double homicide that took place a few months earlier in Stockton. Currently, Yosua is locked up alongside a 16-year-old who was also implicated in the double murder. Basically, Maryana was telling people that Sakari was a snitch who worked with police to get Yosua behind bars. Sakari was obviously not happy that Maryana was allegedly telling people this, so that is what the fight was about. After the interview with Tremaine, police spoke with Garrett, who explained pretty much the same situation and corroborated Tremaine's story about the fight between Sakari and Maryana. Because of this information, police knew that they needed to speak with Sakari. Not only was she the last person known to be with Maryana, but she was also known to have a big fight with her just before her disappearance. But when officers tried to make contact, she was not responding. They tried calling her and showing up to places she was known to frequent, but she was nowhere to be found. Due to the fact that she was the last known person to see Maryana, though, they decided to use some more serious methods of finding Sakari. They used a pen emergency system to track her location. Basically, what this is a way for law enforcement to track you using your cell phone to notify you in times of crisis or to locate you if immediate action is needed. So, if you're someone and you call 911 for help, but let's say you don't know where you are or you don't know the address or something like that, this system helps first responders to find you and lend aid. This system was also used to find Sakari, given that she could hold vital information in the disappearance of Maryana. Using that, by December 8th, law enforcement tracked Sakari down and brought her in for questioning. During her interview, she admitted that both her and Maryana were escorts who provided different services to clients. She met with Maryana on the night of December 5th, with Maryana being dropped off with her in her Mercedes. With them was a client and someone who Sakari considered a friend. This client was a 27-year-old G League NBA player, Chance Comanche. Standing at 6 feet 10 inches tall, Chance started his career in basketball in 2017, playing for the Memphis Hustle in the NBA G League, which is the minor league organization under the NBA. He played for Memphis until 2019, when he signed with the Canton Charge. After that, in 2021, he played for the Enid Outlets of the TBL. Later that year, he signed with the Turkish Basketball First League until 2022, when he signed with the Stockton Kings. After that, he was picked up on a short-term contract with the Portland Trail Blazers in April of 2023, playing only one game with them before returning to the Stockton Kings. He was playing with the Stockton Kings in 2023 when he met up with Sakari. On December 5th, the team was in Vegas for a tournament the entire week, so that is why he happened to be in Vegas that week. So after picking up Maryana, Sakari said that the three of them stopped at a liquor store where Sakari bought some alcohol. This would later be confirmed via surveillance video where Sakari and Maryana were seen entering XO Liquor. And at this point, I'm sure you're wondering, how is a 19-year-old going into a liquor store and buying liquor? I am pretty confident she probably had a fake ID. Obviously, that's not stated anywhere for sure, but She's 19 buying alcohol. It's pretty obvious that she either knew someone in the store who was always giving her alcohol, or more likely, she had a fake ID. After going to the liquor store, they all planned on going to Chance's hotel room, but she said that they decided to meet a different client at another hotel. So they dropped Chance off at a nearby convenience store where another friend of Chance's then picked him up. Later that evening, Maryana and Sakari picked up that second client where they both provided him services in the car. This transaction took about 15 minutes where each of them were paid $500. After this, Sakari said that she asked Maryana if she wanted to go back to Chance's hotel, but Maryana said that she had another date planned in Summerlin. Sakari then showed detectives a text conversation with Maryana earlier that day, December 5th, which talked about that second date. The text was from the client, I believe, and it read, "I was thinking 1K for like an hour, then possibly longer depending on how the vibe is good. Winky face." Maryana replied to the message saying, "That's perfect. The vibe is great." So she got into an Uber after being with Sakari that night, which she described as being a black sedan, and headed to the date referenced in the text message. After Maryana left, Sakari said that she immediately went and met back up with Chance and spent the rest of the night with him. She said that she tried several times that night to contact Maryana, but she wasn't able to. When asked about the altercation that allegedly took place between the two women, Sakari denied having any sort of argument with Maryana. However, she admitted that they had a conversation on the 4th, but she wasn't able to remember exactly what they talked about. After that interview, Sakari left and obviously no charges were filed. At that point, police knew that there was something sketchy going on, but they couldn't say exactly what. There obviously was no body at this point, so she was just missing. They had no reason to think that she was anything but missing. They did know that Sakari was hiding something, but they needed to investigate further if they were going to figure out what. Police went ahead and contacted Uber, saying that they had an emergency request to find out any and all Uber rides that occurred within a 1-mile radius of the area that Sakari described on the night in question. It was confirmed that there was only one Uber pickup in that area, which turned out to be unrelated to Maryana or anyone else involved in the investigation. So that confirmed to police that there was no Uber ride like Sakari was saying. So police then got a warrant to search Sakari's Mercedes, where they found her iPhone 11. They then got another warrant to take a look at the digital evidence from Sakari's phone. They found text messages on an app called Telegram between Sakari and a contact believed to be Chance. These text messages revealed that Chance and Sakari were involved in something much more sinister than they expected. There were numerous text messages which indicate that Sakari and Chance were planning on hiring someone to kill Maryana, but that didn't work out, so they had to take matters into their own hands. I will read the text conversations between them now. I do want to note, however, that I will be skipping some messages for the sake of time, and I might be slightly rewording them due to the nature of how they speak to one another, just to make things easier to understand, and because there are a lot of text messages and they use a lot of slang and not the easiest grammar to read out loud. The text thread starts on November 30th at 3:50 p.m. Sakari to Chance. "Hello." He doesn't reply to that message, so by 8:42 p.m. she texts him again. He reply. Chance responds, "He's with family right now. He gonna tap in later with me and I'ma run it by him." Sakari, "Okay, for sure, let me know." Sakari texts again at 3 a.m., now going into December 1st, saying Shorty sent her location. At the same time that Sakari sent this message to Chance, Maryana had been texting Sakari and shared her location with her. At 8:30 a.m. on December 1st, Chance texts, "It's green. I gave him the baseline info. He gonna hit them and get back." Sakari, "What you tell him?" Chance, "I gave them her full name, social security number, her IG page, all that." Sakari, "She got locked out of her IG. She won't be posting on it no more. You got her full name? Tell him here's her car too." Attached to that message were photos. We don't know exactly what these photos were. Police weren't able to uncover them, but it was assumed that they were of her car. After that, they talk about her name, saying what her first and last name are, and all of that. By 4 p.m. on December 1st, Sakari let Chance know that Maryana just got to Vegas. She gives Chance the address of the Airbnb she's staying at, but they say that there are too many people at the Airbnb. Sakari responds that she will tell Maryana to make a WhatsApp so that she can contact someone who is most likely the friend of Chance's that they're referring to throughout these texts. She said that she's going to pretend he's a client, have her pull up, and quote, get it done like that. By around 5 p.m., Chance tells Sakari that he has a basketball game that he has to go to. She said good luck, and he said that he'll get back to her after the game. By 11:17 on December 1st, Sakari texts Chance, quote, nothing yet, trying to figure out if I should keep playing friendly with the bitch or if I should say I'm going out of town cause she trying to link. I'm trying to delay it as long as possible so we can get this shit done. Our other friends trying to link. I'm only trying to link with them too, not her. So I'm trying to wait to do that till this shit is done with, LMAO. Chance replied a minute later saying, heard you. I see. By midnight, now going into December 2nd, Chance texts Sakari, my dude ain't hit me back yet. Like, he ain't even opened the Telegram shit yet. Sakari, let me know. By 9:35 on December 2nd, Chance texts, everything's getting in motion. Patience is a virtue. You good though? Sakari, yeah, I was awake till 7:30 a.m. I just went to sleep a few hours ago. I'ma go back to sleep for a while. Chance, bet. Be safe. A few hours later, Sakari texts Chance again to ask about the status of everything. He said that he told his friend the whole plan and is just waiting on him to run it by his people. Chance had another game that night, so he said that he has to go for a few hours. After that, Chance makes a group chat with a few other people and tells Sakari to run the plan by his buddies. By 9 p.m. on the 2nd, Sakari texts the group. You can have Shawty pull up to whatever area y'all think is best. Get WhatsApp or something and I'll give you her number to add on. Pretend to be a trick and have come to wherever you at and get her when she show up. For reference, a trick is a client of a sex worker. That's what they call them. Someone in the chat named Trey responds to the group text saying, I bet. Then he texts, so y'all want her chipped or just the shit took? And Chance replied with a coffin emoji. Sakari replied as well, saying, yeah, nah, she gotta, 2 hands making peace signs, and a dove emoji. They talk about when the best time to do it will be, saying, if not today, tomorrow is fine. And Trey responds to just let him know so he can get things set up. By 3:49 a.m., going into December 3rd, Sakari texts the group asking how it's looking. Trey responds by 5:22 a.m. saying, trying to find a ghost emoji, gun emoji. There are no more text messages for the rest of the day on December 3rd. That is until Trey texts the group again at 4:22 a.m. on December 4th. He said, the homie's not answering. Been hitting him since 3:03. After this text, police were only able to extract text messages from Chance's phone to Sakari. They said that the texts from Sakari may have been deleted or something, but no matter the reason, they weren't able to see the texts from her. So the conversation is obviously going to be one-sided, but you can still get the idea of what they're talking about just based on Chance's text messages. So by 1 p.m. on December 4th, Chance texted, my fault for not being a reliable source. The homies I know that got hit is be on green light time. That the only reason I hit him. We don't pump fake over here. Chance sends another message saying he said the person was slow getting back to him this morning, and then this morning he said he can't do it. I called the family in the morning and broke down how effortless it would be. All the little ins and outs. I told him ask the dude and any of his homies how much it would cost cause it's an easy bread for real for real. Chance texts again. I'm not saying do it yourself, but if it's that easy, why not knock it out? By 1:41, Chance said, hold up, have you already linked with Shawty? Like while she been out there. Need to get that bitch drunk and mix rat poison or some in her drink. OD her ass. That's if the hitters fall through the door. By 5 p.m., Chance texted Sakari, you got a gun emoji? 40 minutes later, Chance texts her, I can snap her neck or just strangle the bitch. If you get a nice little thick piece of rope or some sturdy, I can do it from the back seat, like how killers do it in the movies. By December 5th at 9:44 p.m., Sakari texted Chance saying she posted an ad, you can hit her on there. We see that message because Chan's heart reacted to the message, even though we can only see Chance's message right now. If he reacts to something, we can see that message. After this message, Sakari and Chance discuss more about what to say to her, how much to offer, and how to go about this entire thing. By 1 a.m. on December 6th, it's thought that this is when Chance and Sakari are with Maryana. While she was with them, Sakari and Chance continued to text each other. Chance said that his acting skills are superb, saying that they need to keep talking about the stuff that he's into. There are no messages after 2 a.m. on December 6th until much later in the morning at 10 a.m. It was sometime between 2 a.m. and these messages at 10 a.m. when it is believed that Maryana was killed. By 10:03 a.m. on December 6th, Chance sends Sakari a text message that indicates that he's trying to coach Sakari on what to say if police start poking around in their business. He texts Sakari, and calmly answer them. They only know what you tell them. A few minutes later, he says, "You got this, boo. This is the post-game interview. Just smile and wave." Again, we don't know what Sakari is saying back to all of these messages. But by 11:47 a.m. on December 6th, Chance says, "You just gotta find a way to work that. She's been posting ads to meet up with random dudes for money. Has to calmly get thrown into the convo. Police gonna know what's really up. It's Vegas. She effed around and got kidnapped. She was with you till such and such time. Then the guy she was supposed to meet with called her an Uber and she left. That was the last time I saw her last night." We don't have any further communication with them until the night of December 6th. It is thought that Sakari and Chance were together in person during these hours. In the text at 11:49 p.m., Chance says to Sakari, "If you report your side of the story, it has to be airtight till the time she left you." So, based on these text messages, police gathered that at first, Sakari and Chance were trying to hire someone to kill Maryana, but the people that were supposed to do it backed out. So then, they discussed alternative methods. It seemed that Chance was the one who ultimately volunteered to do it. Then, after it's believed that Maryana was killed, they discuss what they will say to police and how they are going to cover their tracks. Because of the very clearly damning evidence investigators found on Sakari's phone, they were able to access location data for Chance, Sakari, and Maryana's cell phones. I assume that they were able to get this from the cell phone companies if they used a warrant. That is what I think happened. Either way, their location data showed that at 1:21 a.m. on December 6th, Chance, Maryana, and Sakari were all together at the same location. Again, around that same time, it was confirmed by surveillance video that Sakari and Maryana bought liquor from XO Liquor. Other cameras as well as cell phone towers show that the three then headed to a cul-de-sac in a nearby area. The cameras show the Mercedes-Benz stop and then back up. They park and remain in that area for 42 minutes. By 3 a.m., they all left. By 3:35 a.m., Maryana's cell phone is deactivated or shut off or died. Chance and Sakari continue to use their phones until 4:12 a.m. when their phones are also shut off. By 5:25 a.m., they stop at a local Winco where video sees Chance and Sakari purchasing a cooking knife, lemons, limes, oranges, and salt. They leave the Winco by 5:47 a.m. By 6:05 a.m., they are then seen arriving at the resort that Chance was staying at for his basketball tournament. Both him and Sakari go to Chance's room until 8:50 and then Chance leaves. Then at 10:24 a.m., Sakari is seen leaving the hotel room and at the same time, she is visibly upset and crying. There is no more information regarding their movements after this time. Finally, after seeing all of this information, Sakari was arrested and charged with kidnapping by December 12th. Then, by December 14th, police found and arrested Chance as well. When they took him into the station, they conducted an interview with him as well, and in this interview, it did not take long at all before he told police the entire story. He explained that he met Sakari about a year and a half prior on a dating app. The two started dating for a few months, but ultimately broke up. I want to note that at that time, Sakari would have been 17 or 18, while Chance would have been 25 or 26. Personally, I find that to be very weird, and it is wrong if she was 17, but even if she was 18, I find that to be so wrong and weird when someone in their mid-20s dates a teenager. I'm 26, and the thought of even dating a 21 or 22-year-old is completely out of the question, let alone a 17 or 18-year-old. But that's just me. What do you guys think? Either way, again, after dating for a few months, they broke up but remained friends for the year that followed and stayed in regular contact. He told investigators that Sakari informed him that she was having problems with one of her friends, Maryana. He said that Maryana's friends were saying that they were going to smoke Sakari if she didn't give Maryana her Rolex watch. I don't know the exact details of this fight, but it seems that the whole fight with them started over this Rolex. We also know that Sakari was mad over Maryana saying that Sakari was a snitch and all of that, so that also could have played a part here. So, because of this feud, I guess, the two started plotting how they were going to lure Maryana away from her friends so that they could kill her. Initially, Chance called a friend who we know was named Trey. Chance asked Trey if he would commit the murder for Sakari, and he said no. But Chance asked Trey if he knew anyone who would be willing to help, offering $3,000 to whoever could get it done. Trey tried finding someone who could help, but he couldn't find anybody. So Chance and Sakari decided to get it done themselves. As we know, Chance started messaging Maryana, posing as a potential client, offering $1,000 for 1 hour of her time. She agreed, and Sakari then picked Chance up, and then they met Maryana and picked her up. As we know, Chance was sitting in the back seat when they got Maryana, so she went ahead and sat in the front seat. Chance said that his first impression of Maryana was that she was not about that life, meaning that she wasn't a totally seasoned sex worker. She didn't have the same type of personality to her as a lot of the other girls did. She didn't seem like anybody who wanted to hurt anybody else. So Chance really didn't think that Maryana could ever actually hurt Sakari. When they stopped at the liquor store, Chance stayed in the car while the women went inside. During that time, Chance and Sakari continued texting about how and when they were going to kill Maryana. After the liquor store, they drove to a nearby cul-de-sac where they told Maryana that Chance was into kinky stuff. He wanted to tie both of the women up. So Maryana agreed. Both women took their clothes off, and Sakari went over and sat on Maryana's lap. Sakari then put zip ties around Maryana's wrists. Again, Maryana let her do this willingly because she thought it was just a part of what was going to happen, and Sakari acted like she was about to be tied up as well. But Chance was waiting in the back seat, holding an HDMI cord. He then put the cord in front of Maryana's neck, strangling her for about 10 seconds before stopping. But while he was choking her with the cord, apparently Sakari was using her hands to choke Maryana, so even though Chance stopped while Maryana was still alive, Sakari kept going until Maryana passed out. That is according to what Chance was saying. After that, they checked her pulse and checked if she was still breathing. At that point, they saw fluid coming out of her mouth, so they felt like she had to be dead. They then drove around until they found an area to dump her body. They found a nearby ditch where they dumped her body and covered her in rocks. Chance said that they used towels to carry the rocks so that their DNA couldn't be traced. They then smashed her phone and kept all of Maryana's belongings in Sakari's car. After that, Chance boarded the bus with his basketball team and went back to Sacramento, but he was located by FBI agents and was arrested before being extradited back to Nevada. After Chance's confession, police drove to the desert in Henderson, where they were able to find Maryana's remains in the location where Chance said they would be. As of right now, we don't actually know the exact location of where she was found. That information has not yet been made public.
I'm not leaving until we find Maryana. I'm not good. There's no other option. The only option is to bring her home. I'm not going home until I got Maryana.
Friends of missing 23-year-old Maryana Rodgers, desperate to find her, now learning Maryana won't be coming home. Metro Police say her body was found in a desert area in Henderson, and 2 people were arrested for her murder. Fox 5 spoke to Maryana's friends days before those arrests, when she was still missing.
I believe that she was taken against her will. I'm not sure if it was a male or female that took her. I'm not sure, but I know this whole situation is not like Maryana whatsoever.
Maryana and friends came to Las Vegas from Washington State on December 1st.
The whole reason of coming to Las Vegas was just to have a vacation, get away from things back home.
Garrett Comer says he dropped Maryana off with a friend around 1 a.m. on December 6th. He says her last pinged location was on the southwest edge of the Las Vegas Valley 2 hours later, and she was never heard from again.
The friend that I dropped her off with is someone that we've known for actually a good amount of time, about 6-7 years of our life. I should have been there with her. I shouldn't have let my friend.
Police say that friend, 19-year-old Sakari Harnden, was arrested along with her boyfriend, 27-year-old Chance Comanche, a G League basketball player who was released by the Stockton Kings following his arrest.
Because of this, both Chance and Sakari were charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and kidnapping. As of right now, the prosecution is hoping to have a joint trial for Chance and Sakari. As of right now, Chance was denied bail and Sakari was granted a $500,000 bail, though both of them are still in jail awaiting trial.
Mr. Comanche, do you understand the charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have a right to a preliminary hearing within 15 days of today's date. A right to a preliminary hearing on these felony offenses. Mr. Guyman informs me that he's talked with you and that you're willing to give up that 15-day period for your preliminary hearing. You're not waiving or giving up your preliminary hearing completely. You're just waiving or giving up the preliminary hearing within 15 days. I want to make sure you understand and agree with that.
Yes, ma'am.
The judge and prosecutors discussed consolidating cases around the murder Comanche is accused of. Comanche's defense lawyer also made sure he could file a motion for bail in the future. A preliminary hearing was set for February 8th. Las Vegas court documents say Comanche plotted the murder with Sakari Harnden in between basketball games.
As of right now, we don't know when the trial will take place. We don't know if either of them will plead guilty. This is a very, very recent case, as you can tell. I do have a feeling that Sakari is going to ride this one to the end, while Chance might be a bit more likely to plead guilty given that he confessed to the murder. But as we could see, he was trying to take some of the blame off of himself, saying that Sakari is actually the one who ended her life. But we can see that prosecutors are taking him a little bit more seriously in terms of charging him because he was denied bail and Sakari wasn't. So it's believed that Chance is actually the one who ended her life. But yeah, that's where the case sits as of right now. Again, this is a very recent case. We don't know an autopsy for Maryana. We don't know any other information about evidence or anything else they found in this case. But the way that this entire thing went down does just blow my mind. We truly don't have a solid motive as of right now. All we know is that apparently Sakari and Maryana had a fight over this Rolex watch and over Maryana talking about how Sakari helped to get her ex arrested. Apparently that was enough for Sakari to set out her plan to murder her over the course of several days. She planned this for a long time. They took the steps to try and find someone else to do it. Then they decided to get it done themselves when they couldn't find anyone, instead of just giving up and letting her live her life. This entire thing was clearly planned out. I have no idea why Chance would have involved himself. My thought is that he's probably still very much into Sakari, so when she asked him to help her kill someone, he just went along with it to make her happy. I don't know any other reason for why someone would involve themselves in something like this, especially someone who had so much going for him. He was a professional basketball player. I'm sure he was making a good bit of money, and who knows how long his career could have lasted. But instead, he decided to involve himself with this murder plot, and for a woman that he wasn't even with, a woman that he wasn't even dating, a 19-year-old who just asked him and he immediately was like, yeah, I'll help you kill someone, or I'll help you find someone to kill someone. It just makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, Maryana was a young woman who was loved by so many people. Yes, she may have made some decisions that some people don't agree with, but back home, she had a stable life with a good job. She was doing good things in her life, and she absolutely did not deserve what happened to her, and for absolutely no reason at all. It's so tragic, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this case goes. Of course, with any recent case, I will try to keep you all as up to date as possible. If there is a trial in this case and if more comes out, I will make another video about this. Otherwise, I will just update you guys in the description box below. But that is all I have for today's case, and now I want to know what you all think. Do you think there will be a trial? What do you think the defense will be? What do you think the true motive here was? Do you think it's as simple as this fight over a damn Rolex? What do you think of Chance's involvement? What do you think of this confession? Let's discuss this and any other thoughts that you have in the comments below. If you liked this video, please make sure to go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I put out new true crime and mystery videos every single week. Make sure you turn that notification bell to on so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Make sure you check out Cook Unity, which is linked down below, and use my code RSTC50 for 50% off of your first order at Cook Unity. Make sure you follow my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. All will be linked down below. And if you have any case suggestions, please make sure to fill out the Google form, which is also listed down below. With that, I hope you guys have an amazing week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.